So for the past 2 years, I have been making beats nearly every single day as a beat maker for my beat store. And I really wanted to do a video on this because there is a lot of things that I've realized I've learned in the past 2 years of making a beat every single day. And I feel like this is information that will be useful for any music producer of any level looking to not only improve their craft as a producer, but also get their foot in the door of the industry as well. So I wanted to make a transparent video about everything that I've learned in the past 2 years of making a beat every single day. Maybe it will encourage you to do the same, or maybe help fix a couple of problems that you've got at the moment as a music producer. Either way, if you're new to this channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, as it's the best way to support the channel. This whole channel is about supporting independent music producers, not only helping you make money as a music producer, but also refine your craft as well. So if that's music to your ears, make sure you smash the subscribe button right now. Goal is 10k by the end of the year. Fingers crossed we can do that. But with that all out the way, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I learned from making a beat every day for 2 years was you can always improve. Now that may seem like a very obvious concept, but hear me out on this one. 2 years ago, before I started making a beat every single day for my beat store, I thought that I was a pretty accomplished music producer. On the front that I could make a music production in most styles of music, be very competent when it comes to working with artists. If they asked for something, I was confident I could deliver it to a good enough standard to leave the artist happy with the work that I have produced for them. But upon reflection 2 years later, when I listened to some of the work that I did 2 years ago, which I thought at the time was my best work, I now look back at it and think, this is really not that good. But I think that's a good thing, because I feel like you shouldn't ever stand still or settle in this industry. There's always new things you could learn, always things you can refine about your craft to make you a better producer overall. And I feel like making a beat every single 2 days has given me the opportunity to refine my craft, a word I love using on this channel. And I've definitely noticed the quality of my beats has skyrocketed, which ties really nicely into point number 2. One of the biggest things I struggled with 2 years ago was actually finishing off beats. If you're a beat maker or a music producer anyway, you will know exactly what I mean by this. Hey, even if you're an artist with a song, how many unfinished songs or beats do you have on your hard drive right now that you haven't finished simply because you either hit a brick wall with it or you had a new idea so you started something else? But for the past 2 years, and you could apply this as well to writing a song every day, making a beat every single day for 2 years, one of the biggest rules that I did is every single day I had to finish the beat no matter what. And very quickly I learned the best way that I personally could produce music. I learned a lot about myself, how I sort of determine and pull melodies out of nowhere, how I blend sounds together in a way that is natural for me, because we can all be methodical and say there's a certain way that you're supposed to produce music, but if I'm being honest, everyone is different. How I produce music, I'm sure, is definitely different to how you watching right now makes it as well, because that's what makes music unique and different. Everyone bringing different things to the table. And as a result of learning more about myself, not only was I able to make beats more efficiently, but I was always able to finish off beats. If I was struggling with a beat, I could go away from it 15 minutes, come back, and I know exactly what I needed to do to make this beat work. And it also gave me this mindset that if a beat started, I'm just going to finish the idea, and it doesn't matter if it's the best thing I've ever made or the worst thing I've ever made. As long as the beat's finished, I'm happy, because then I can move on to the next idea with a completely clear mindset and not be thinking about beats I've made in the past and how I can save them and adding extra stress. The third thing I've learned is you get addicted to the process if you do this. Now, when I first got into beat making, I did a lot of batch creating to try and get beats out there early doors, and it meant I was rushing. I was making multiple beats a day, and it was a lot of stress because I felt like I had to get it done and get it done to a certain level, but allowing myself a fraction of the time. Making a beat every single day obviously means that every single day I'm getting a new beat for my beat store, so I upload daily. Yes, before that I uploaded batch catalogs, but it wasn't my best work, but I was just trying to get content onto the beat store. And I found getting into a rhythm, uploading a beat every single day, when I had days where I didn't make a beat, whether it was the weekend or I was away on holiday, I would almost get frustrated because it was out of the norm all of a sudden. And humans are creatures of habit, so when you get into the habit of doing something, it can be actually quite hard or frustrating to break out of that cycle. Whether it's going to the gym 5 times a week, whether it's eating healthy on a very strict diet which you're loyal to, or making music, no matter what it is, if you get yourself into a habit of doing something, it's going to be a lot harder for you to break out of it. Which, if it's a good habit like I think it is, making a beat every single day, it's completely worth it. Now, personally, it took me a good month to properly get into the rhythm of it, but now I can't imagine a day where I don't at least try to make a beat, even if I don't have a lot of time. I find myself waking up sometimes at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning just so I can get my beat done before I actually start my day of freelance work as a music producer, because I am that loyal to the routine of making a beat nearly every single day, 5 days a week. I do give myself weekends off, okay? And the last thing I've learned, which I think is probably the most important thing, especially if you're an aspiring music producer, from making a beat nearly every single day for a couple of years, I have learned there is no better time to start getting into the music industry than now. A lot of people get worried about, oh, well, am I a good enough producer to be uploading beats and selling them to the world? Am I a good enough artist to get my music heard and gain an engaging audience and a fan base? The reality is there's never a time where you're at the peak of your ability, so you shouldn't be held back by yourself worrying about if you're good enough to do something. Bearing in mind right now, I have a certain standard now to beats that I make 2 years on from starting these beats, and the standard has gone up and up and up month upon month, year upon year, where if I was to make a beat like I made 2 years ago, it wouldn't be up to the standard anymore that I would upload to my beat store. And that doesn't mean I should go back in time and tell myself to quit music. No, if anything, it was worth it because I put in the hard miles early on, and I didn't mind what anyone else thought of my music at the time, because I'm just trying to get the ball rolling for myself so I can learn and adapt to the industry based upon the successes and failures I have in this period. Now, if you watch this channel, you know in this past 2 years I've been making daily beats. I've been very fortunate enough to get a very good side income as a beat maker, and it's actually now become one of my main incomes, and I fundamentally believe that a large part of the successes that I've been having with beatmaking has been down to the strict routine and a consistency that I've applied to myself in this past couple of years. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different parameters when it comes to beat setting, like marketing and stuff like that. We won't touch on that, and it's not the be-all end-all of why I've been successful at beatmaking, but it definitely has helped because it gets you into that strict routine, which fundamentally I have enjoyed. Because let's be honest, if we didn't enjoy the process, why are we doing it? So just bear that in mind when you're thinking if you're good enough to get into the music industry now. Get in the music industry now. Don't worry what people think. And I promise you, the more music you make and release, not only will your confidence go up, but your whole process of making music will go up and your quality of output will skyrocket. So that is why making a beat nearly every day for the past couple of years has been a big success for me personally, and it's enabled me to improve as a producer. And the best part is, if I keep doing this for another couple of years, I'm only going to get better as a producer, because I'm not naive enough to think that I'm ever going to hit a ceiling. There's always things I can improve on. There's always producers who are better than me, but that doesn't stop me from making music every day, and it shouldn't stop you either. So yeah, guys, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, smash the subscribe button as the best way to support the channel. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.